Good evening. Good evening. Good evening to everyone. Welcome to SheLovesThee podcast. I don't know if you guys watched the Jackson State men's basketball game, but Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. That deserves a drink, right? Overtime. And basically the game being defined by a bad call by the refs. Terrible, terrible, terrible. That is why I have a drink. Look, I have a drink. Look. Don Julio Tequila Reposado. Y'all, go ahead and get your drink. Because that right there, that one's a hard one. That's a hard pill to swallow. So if you got your drink, let me know what you're drinking on in the chat. Tequila, vodka, rum. Thank everybody for coming. Go ahead and hit the likes. Tonight we're going to talk about a whole bourbon. Wow. We're going to talk about all of it. I got my little drink. See? Got my little drink. I haven't started yet. Hey, Brother Bakari. All right. So, let's get into it. A moonshine? You know what? Alcorn probably do got some good moonshine up there in the country. That country moonshine. Me, I'm on tequila. Not too much, just a little bit. It goes down smooth and you won't have that bad of a headache. All right, so we're going to start off with the recap. This is SheLovesThee Saturday Roundup. We're going to talk about Jackson State women's basketball, Jackson State men's basketball, the SWAC standings, because we got some shakeups, the coaches updates. We got an update on a possible coach coming into the fold. This is tequila. Tequila. A shot of tequila. Don Julio Tequila Reposado. I'm drinking Alcorn women's basketball tears. Okay, I got me some Limoncello and Patron. Okay. Then we're going to talk about the HBCU Legacy Bowl recap because Lord knows I have some questions. Then we got the Deacon Jones Co-Trophy Player of the Year Award. I got questions. I got some questions, and I hope y'all have the answers. I'm going to open up the StreamYard too. All right, let's talk about it. Jackson State, Lady Tigers, they stay undefeated. They stay undefeated, 14-0. I think that for our women's team, we have high expectations for Coach Reed, and we don't give them passes or leeway. You know what I'm saying? And I think we just require so much of them that I had to take a step back and think. But every time I try to come up with something, and when I say something, I mean when I give them, listen, our ladies are undefeated in conference play. I feel like nobody in the SWAC can beat Jackson State women's team. We have been dominant in a lot of games. But I will say this. How you doing, Mr. Ford?
Hey, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah. How you doing?
Okay.
Mr.
Yeah.
You're the Rattler done came up here early.
Huh?
I said you came up here early, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, I'm just listening. I was just listening.
All right. So when I'm talking about the women's team, did you get a chance to watch their game today?
No, I watched the Legacy Bowl.
Oh, okay. All right. We're going to talk about the Legacy Bowl.
Yeah, I watched the
I
Legacy
just
Bowl.
wanted to quickly go over the last, let me see. I want to go over the Southern game where we won 63-58. Bethune-Cookman where we didn't pull away until the fourth quarter. And then this last game against Alcorn State.
Right.
I've seen a couple of things for the Jackson State women. They've done a magnificent job of going undefeated.
Right. Yeah.
But for me, I think statistically, the women have been struggling a little bit these last couple of games.
Right.
And I don't know what that's from. And it's not, it's something that if we go to the NCAA tournament, that's something that you can't do.
Right.
You have a situation where you're scoring in the first half, low scoring game. Tion Bowler struggled significantly. Angel Jackson had 19 points and 8 rebounds. And then Tion Bowler, she struggled a little bit. And, that's supposed to be the SWAC preseason offensive player of the year. So my only concern with our Jackson State women is our free throw percentage has been down. And then the number of just boneheaded mistakes. But I'm sure that our coach will clear all of that up before the tournament.
What was the final score?
So the final score was 62-54. I also have to give credence that both Southern and Alcorn those are like rivalry games, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's something that when you have a rivalry game, it's always going to play close. You're going to play close with the rivalry game. But for the women, I want them to just coast through the rest of their season. We only have a couple more games. Well, actually, when we beat Texas Southern this coming Saturday, we'll clinch the SWAC champs.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's going to be next Saturday. So they don't have a game all week. I'm sure that coach will focus on their layups and their free throws. Those are the two things that they struggled with, layups and free throws. And next Saturday, Texas Southern in Houston, that's when we're supposed to clinch the title.
Okay.
All right. Now we got to move to the men's. Did you miss that?
Yeah. I didn't hear. Now, Jackson won that?
Mr. Ford, we did not win.
You didn't win?
No, it went to overtime.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Mo Williams was ejected from the game.
And so what was the final score?
The final score was 73-87 in overtime. The players just kind of stopped playing after after he was ejected.
Yeah, that's why a coach could never lose his composure. That was one of my problems I used to have with Rick Pitino. He would lose his composure too much.
I think it was basically those type of calls, though. Like when it's that close of a game and you have questionable foul calls.
Yeah.
So we fell to Alcorn. The men's
that was
side,
on the reservation. That was on the reservation.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to shake up the men's standings because everybody was just kind of like right there, tied. And I think Bethune won tonight too. It's just a lot going on.
That guy's doing Reggie Thea's doing a good job.
I want to say, you said what now, Mr. Ford?
I was saying Reggie Theus is doing a great job down there. With that junior,
getting rid of him.
Reggie Theus?
The men's. Did you know that the men's basketball team, Grambling, beat Southern today?
No.
Yep.
That's for first place, right? Isn't that for first place?
I want to say, yeah.
That's
for first place. So let me see. Southern got beat 63-57 today in men's basketball. Okay. So that means that now they're in first place. Then Alcorn State won against Jackson State, so they're going to be 10-5. And then let's see what the Texas Southern beat, or Texas Southern is still playing. It says they're still playing, but I'm sure they're going to beat Valley. So they're going to remain at third place. First, second, third, fourth. Bethune-Cookman, which is interesting because somebody was complaining about the men's team and saying that Reggie Theus needed to be fired.
For real?
The final for Bethune-Cookman was 63-61. Just because I guess he had some losing seasons, but I said you have to look at his out of conference play. Bethune has to play a lot of different teams so that they can acquire the funding for the basketball team.
Now, what place are they in so far in the SWAC?
So they won against the Bulldogs.
Alabama A&M?
Yeah, Alabama A&M 63-61. So that means that 1, 2, 3, 4. They're gonna still be in fifth place.
Okay.
Jackson State is gonna be in sixth place. We teetering. It's what, the first 8, right?
Right, for the tournament.
Jackson State teetering. They getting kind of close.
Yeah, that's gonna be awful if they don't make the tournament.
The end of BCU's game was one for the ages. I was watching it, but they were in timeout, and then I had something I had to do. But that was in Alabama. Was that in Alabama? Or was that in? I want to say, I don't know if that was. Let me see if I can pull up that ending of that game and play it for us. So, what do you think about the men's competition?
I think it's an upgrade from last year. I think the men's SWAC basketball has come along. I mean, it's gone to another level. That was one of my concerns
Oh no,
last
that was
year.
happening. Well, they be having them slick floors. They can win at home, but Bethune-Cookman been winning at home.
Yeah, I thought they was doing a good job down there.
Especially for all that they've been going through. Let's see.
Has about 5 seconds to get down the court. No timeout. So if they make a shot, the Wildcats will have to basically make a full court prayer for the most part to win.
The Wildcats need one more stop to give Deshaun Dyson his hero moment. It is 63-61.
You have the career leader in steals.
The sweat. They call it the sweat box, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, it looks like a little middle school gym.
The ball comes in. Time ticks down. 3 seconds. Bryant, half-court heave. It's no good! This one belongs to the maroon and gold. It's a more Jim miracle!
Why was it a miracle?
It's a more Jim.
Why was it a miracle?
And 11 steals for the Wildcats.
That was a close game, Mr. Ford.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Go back.
Yeah,
Why was it a heartbreaker? What was so heartbreaking about it?
I want Florida A&M to go out and get a reputable championship basketball coach. I'm sick and tired of them being just horrible and trash in basketball.
Who?
Florida A&M. I want them to go get somebody like Reggie Theus. Go get a name person.
Wait, hold up. Why are you gonna try to take Reggie Theus from Bethune-Cookman?
No, I'm saying get somebody like him.
Oh, okay.
I'd like for them to get a name person, like a.
Let me name drop somebody.
I got one, the guy that's at Winston-Salem, Cleo Hill's son. I want him to come to Florida A&M.
What?
Yeah, he's a good coach. He's at Winston-Salem.
So for the men's basketball, everybody's kind of fighting for their life. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so close.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they've taken a step up from last year. That's one of my concerns last year. I wanted SWAC basketball men to come up. I thought it was too low last year.
So like with women's basketball, it's like Jackson State is at the top, and then everybody else.
It's Jackson State and then everybody else. It's everybody else is fighting for the second place. Jackson State is definitely number one. In girls and women's basketball, they're number one by themselves by a long shot.
With the Commissioner Cup, Prairie View is leading right now.
Prairie View got 22
points for the men. The women have 25.5. So they're in first place right now. Alabama.
At one time that Commissioner's Cup belonged to Alabama State. They had kind of like a monopoly on that Commissioner's Cup.
Well, they in second place right now, Alabama State.
You have to watch them because come track and field, Alabama State's kind of dominant.
And
Florida tennis and all that kind of stuff.
And Texas Southern are tied at third.
Alcorn
how is Alcorn ahead of us? Alcorn 5th place. Jackson State is in 6th place. This is unheard of. And Jackson State got to pull their weight because women done won the volleyball.
Yeah.
Getting ready to win regular season
basketball.
Girls.
Yeah.
The men gonna have to come on up now.
Yeah, they are.
Southern's in 7th, Gramblin's in 8th, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Wow, they're in 9th right now.
Because for a long time, Florida A&M didn't care about nothing but football. And then they got that Jamie Shoup guy, and that brought the baseball up.
Okay.
And, Florida A&M's whole thing is that football program.
Speaking of baseball, now, y'all know that Jackson State, won against Valley this weekend. So we looking good.
Right.
Let me see. It says
I watched the game. I watched Southern against Alabama State on the Major League Channel, and then I watched Grambling and Florida A&M on the Major League Channel. Yeah, Southern beat Alabama State, and Florida A&M beat who did they play? Florida A&M beat was it Graham? Graham. Yeah.
So the Tigers, they had a terrible loss. So, I'm gonna cheers to the Tigers, the men's Tigers team. It's always up and downhill watching them play. So, Mr. Ford, did you hear about our new coach?
No, who?
Ooh.
Who is the new coach?
He's from Florida.
I mean, football, basketball, what sport?
Football.
Offense coordinator?
No. Defensive line coach.
Okay, what's his name?
I got you right here. I'm getting ready to pull him up right now.
Okay.
What I was saying is he's from Florida, as in the school of Florida. He was a graduate assistant, and he is now coming to the Jackson State.
Okay.
And so I think that the only thing that we're missing now is the offensive coordinator, but I really think the offensive coordinator is getting ready to be Coach TC.
Okay,
I don't think we'll be the offensive coordinator. His name is, I'm pulling him up right now, Callie James Jr.
Okay, say it again.
Callie James Jr.
Do you have a biography?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Let's hear it.
He's a graduate assistant. He's coming out of the Florida Gators.
Right.
So this was his second season with the Gators as the defensive line graduate assistant. He joined the program in 2022 after spending 2 previous seasons as the defensive line coach for Land Christian Academy and 1 year in 2019 as a defensive line coach intern at South Carolina. Okay. He played 4 years from 2016 to 2019 at Tuskegee University, where he played in all 43 games, including being a 4-year starter at defensive tackle. He served as team captain his junior and senior years and was awarded the Golden Tiger Character Award. He totaled 62 career tackles, 19 tackles for loss, 7.5 sacks, and a fumble recovery for a touchdown his sophomore season. He's a native of Riverdale, Georgia, and he graduated from Tuskegee with a degree in psychology.
Okay. So he's from the Atlanta metro area.
So, what do you think about hiring a graduate assistant as a defensive line coach?
Well, that's how you get it. You go and do your time at the Power 5 schools, and then you come back and get the position coach job in the SWAC, MEAC, and
Yes.
FCS. Because it seems like he's very young. And what years was he at Tuskegee?
He's young. 2016 and 2019. So for me, so I'm going to look at this a couple of different ways, right? So the first way that I look at this is that coaches absolutely take notice to Jackson State and coaches getting jobs at different programs, varying programs from FCS to FBS. Right? So I was trying to figure this out for Mr. James Jr. I was trying to figure out, what is his premise, right? Because a lot of people would say Callie James Jr. has a position at a FBS in a Power 5 school. Why would he go back down to FCS, right?
Well, he gets a chance to be a position coach. You said he was a graduate assistant, or was he a graduate assistant?
A graduate assistant coach for defense, but they also said that he was killing it in the recruiting trail, right?
Okay.
They said that he was set to be the assistant D-line coach at Florida before he came to Jackson State. So I'm trying to figure it out and piece it together. So number one, Callie James Jr. has been at an HBCU. So that's number one, right?
Right.
And for me, I don't think that going back down to the FCS is a downgrade either, but I'm just approaching the narrative that they always say. It's always better to go FBS. That's the way to go. And now we're seeing Callie James Jr., who's at one of the premier programs. Like, this isn't a mid-level, and that's no disrespect, but it's not a South Alabama or Liberty. You know what I'm saying? This is a Power 5 school.
Right. Well, now here's the thing about that Florida program. If they don't win this year, they're getting ready to blow up that whole staff.
Maybe he just said, let me get on down.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Because Napier, who I've always felt, I like Napier as a coach, but I didn't think Napier fit in with the Gators. He didn't strike me as a University of Florida head coach. But I'm gonna tell you this: if they don't win this year, they're gonna blow up that whole staff. So he might be getting out.
Power moves, like let me go ahead and get on down.
Yeah, get on out. Yeah, because if Napier doesn't win, because see, it makes no sense for Florida. See, Florida really should be dominating that SEC. And to me, they haven't done anything since Urban Meyer left there. And that's been a while. They haven't picked the right person for that job yet. But I know for a fact the people down there in Gainesville are very restless. And if Napier, who is actually from Georgia, if he doesn't win big this year, he's gone. He's out. Yeah, he's out. I never felt he fit in with. Florida should have a big time guy down there.
Right. So, I mean, so that would make sense. Go ahead and get on down. And plus, when it comes to the coaching carousel, Jackson State is pretty hot, right? So if you go to Jackson State, you have an opportunity if you want to move around. But Callie James Jr. is also from an HBCU, so he has that HBCU background. I'm excited. And you know what? The kids are excited, right? This can do wonders for our recruiting. Just, adding on. Yeah. So if you want to know about any more of our coaches, then the best thing to do is to go to the directory and type in football and then just look at who's in the directory.
So they haven't named the defensive coordinator, have they?
Let me see.
Is that guy from the defensive backfield going to be it?
So this is the thing with naming. I don't think they're going to actually necessarily name it anytime soon. But I will say this. One of the coaches has co-defensive coordinator in his bio.
Okay, now who is that?
You know who it is, Mr. Ford.
Is it the DB coach?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, he'd probably end up being the defensive coordinator.
I mean, I would. He was killing it as the defensive back coach.
Yeah, that's Quinn. What's his name?
Go ahead and see what you're pulling out.
What's his name?
Terenzo Quinn.
Yeah, I think they'll probably go with him.
So, if we're trying to piece together the coaching tree, we have Terenzo Quinn as the defensive coordinator. The linebackers coach is Coach Hammock. The special teams and outside linebacker is Coach Javancy Jones.
Right.
Then we have Callie James Jr., who is going to be the defensive line coach. It's I like it. He's building a new team. He's building a new, fresh, young team, innovative. I like it, right? Yeah. And then on the offensive side, TC did some phenomenal play calling against Alabama A&M. We all remember that 61-15 Scooter debacle. And then for some other reason that I can't really quite figure out, Coach Prime decided to go with a white coach. Well, actually, he wasn't a coach at that time. He was I want to say he was an offensive analyst. He decided to go with something different, and he demoted TC because I think TC was interviewing for the Prairie View job. So I think that if I'm TC Taylor and I want to be able to have the offensive coordinator ability, like the ability to play call, I would get if I'm going to name an offensive coordinator, name a younger guy, right?
Yeah. Somebody can train.
Name a younger guy. It's like, hey, I'm going to bring you in as offensive coordinator, but, I'm going to be calling some of the plays. So a younger guy is going to be appreciative, like, hey, I'm getting an opportunity to be offensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator, we just let the cat out the bag. It says in Terenzo Quinn's bio, co-DC. I think co-DC stands for co-defensive coordinator. So as of right now, nobody's been officially named, but that's who I'm rocking with at this point in time. Mr. Ford. This HBCU Legacy Bowl recap.
Oh yeah, I watched it.
Let's start with the good.
I saw a lot of defensive line talent on both sides of the ball. I think some of them guys is going to be heard from. They're going to either go in the Rocks League or CFL or NFL or something. Because I saw some quality kids in that defensive line for both of those teams. Man, if that kid from Benedict, if he was about 6'1", 6'2", man, he's something else now. I watched him today. I watched him closely. He's something else.
You talking about Lubert Danielis, the defensive tackle?
He's something else. That Hayes kid from Alabama A&M is something else. And I saw some other kids. I thought them kids, them defensive linemen was tough today.
Usually, I want to say the past couple of years it has been defensive heavy at the HBCU Legacy Bowl. So you're talking about Zarion Hayes.
He's tough.
Alabama A&M.
Yeah, that kid is tough. If somebody's willing to give him a chance and let him develop, I can see him being like another Robert Mathis or something.
Okay.
Yeah, he's tough. That Hayes kid is tough.
John Huggins was making some tackles out there.
Yeah. Now the bad side of what to me was the quarterbacking.
Wait. You ain't got nothing else nice to say before we get into that? Because there's a lot.
Yeah, no, I thought them backs I liked them running backs today. I like several of them running backs.
Let's talk a little bit more nice.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought them running backs were nice on both sides. Yeah, I like them running backs.
So for me, the HBCU Legacy Bowl as a whole, not just the Legacy Bowl, but the combine, everything, it definitely gives eyes for talent.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Okay, now we can put the but with it. Listen, if you're going to have these type of eyes on you, you need to put on a show. Right?
Yeah.
You cannot be out here because now you're going to look like a joke, right?
Well, that's what I thought the quarterback situation looked like today, a joke. Once that kid got hurt.
These are our player of the year, folks. These are player of the year. And these are the type of, it doesn't give any credence or like this is who you're putting forward, right, to represent as player of the year, right?
Right.
And then player of the year for the SWAC, player of the year for the Black college football, 2023 Black college football, Deacon Jones. They made, instead of picking one person, they had two players this year, Mr. Ford.
Yeah.
And Jeremy Musa.
Right. Well, I thought they gave it to Musa because, Florida A&M was the best team in HBCU football. That's the only reason I figured they gave it to Musa. Because that other kid outclasses him. That boy, he's tough. It's just sad he got hurt today. But that kid from North Carolina Central, he's special.
So I was under the impression that prayers up for his injury, that he could have possibly broke his ankle.
Oh, they said he broke his ankle?
Allegedly. That
okay.
There's a chance that he could have broke his ankle.
Broken his ankle. Okay.
They did say that he's had ankle issues in the past.
Okay. I think I do remember that. Yeah, I think I do remember that. But now, one thing about I would say about this Richards kid, that kid can be converted to another position. I can see that kid as a
running back?
No, defensive back or maybe a wide receiver. I could see him in another position.
Wait, hold up. Were you trying to switch him to a whole different position?
No, I'm just saying, in order, if the league rejects him as a quarterback, I can see him being converted to a defensive back or maybe a wide receiver.
Who?
Richards.
What?
What's his name? Davius Richard? What's his name?
Davius Ricard.
Yeah, I could see him as converted to another position. He's an athlete. He's an athlete.
So what do you think players, okay, so here's the difference between HBCU players and this HBCU Legacy Bowl and the opportunity to play for the NFL Network versus a player that's in the Power 5 that gets scouts coming to their practice every other week and that has primetime 24/7. So when I think about after the season ends and you see like a lot of players opt out of playing in these postseason games. They don't play in the Tropical Bowl or the Senior Bowl. They just go straight to Pro Day and straight to draft, right?
Right.
So for HBCU players, I don't feel like Davius Ricard's injury changes anything, because for HBCU players, the HBCU Legacy Bowl and the platform that it puts you on is something that you need to get to the next level.
Right.
And it gives you a chance to be seen by the scouts. So I don't feel like his injury changes anything. I do feel like Richard. It's not pronounced Ricard. Well, when I said Richard earlier today, when I heard the man, he said Ricard. So when on the NFL Network, they said Ricard. Okay, so I've always said Davius Richard. Anyway, Mr. Ford, do you think that the players should still play in this game?
Oh yeah, the Legacy Bowl.
Yeah, even though he got injured.
Listen. I was so happy when they came up with this idea. This was something that was really needed. Oh yes, I love this thing. And they felt that the talent this year was the best it's ever been. Now this is what, the third year, the fourth year?
Third year.
Third year. They felt like this talent in this game was the best that they've had so far. I saw, like I said, now I was really impressed with the defensive line play today and the talent in that defensive line room on both sides. I thought them guys.
Hayes said it's a whole bunch of practice players.
Yeah, could be. But see, here's the thing about practice players. You got some organization that will be patient with them where they can become part of that 53-man squad. Because some of these kids, if they are patient with them and let them develop, they can become NFL players or CFL players. Now, what's Rock's league called? It's the XL?
XFL?
Yeah. I could see them guys being in that league. Now, you didn't want me to say it in a bad thing. I thought the quarterback.
I do want you to say the bad, the good, the bad.
I just thought the quarterback play was terrible today, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought the wide receiver play was awful too. Huh? I thought it was awful too. I wasn't impressed with them wide receivers. Definitely
Let's
wasn't
go
impressed
ahead.
with them
Let's go ahead
quarterbacks.
and take a look at them highlights. Lord,
Okay.
Lord. All right, so y'all, I don't know. They might not. Who knows? I'm getting ready to put these highlights up, okay? They might flag my stream, so send your girl $5 to her Cash App just in case they do, right? So this is Gaither versus Robinson. Now, for me, Mr. Ford, I'm just gonna say it. The play calling was off. The play calling was off, okay?
Right.
Play calling was off. I'm not trying to step on nobody's toes, but that's how I feel.
Gun.
Yeah,
Takes a step. Oh, he's looking at your guy, Bucky, RJ Mobley, on the reception on the right sideline. But what a beautiful ball. Richard takes a snap. He drops back from the gun, wide open in the middle of the field. On the catch right there, it looks like number 18, Taman Cook.
And there, some of the things he did at NC Central.
All right, first and goal from the 4-yard line. Wheeler offset to the left. Got the RPO action. Richard on the keeper. He is smothered, but look at the strength as he gets into the end zone. And Bucky, after this play, we're going to come back to your defensive players. Musa with a new set of downs. Has a play fake, plenty of time. Oh, picks. Oh, almost a near interception. Is that Jordan Tolles out of Morgan State? 3rd and 12. The ball is at about the 28-yard line of Team Gaither. Williams is a good deep ball thrower. That is kind of his claim to fame. As he scrambles out of the pocket, beautiful throw in the center of the field. As it looks like he hits his running back, Latrell Collier, on the good old Texas route there.
Both. I concur.
First down on the 50. Quentin Williams takes a snap, a little pump fake. Oh, yeah. Big dime sack right there. Who do we have?
Looks like Jalen Wilson, 35.
Yeah, 35. Jaron Wilson. Aaron out of Edward Waters.
Them to evaluate a quarterback in situations that might not come up organically.
And the one that we just saw is Quentin Williams get under center as he throws it to his former collegiate teammate, Brendan Brown, the tight end out of Howard University. That battery did big things during the season, and Brown has had a strong week as he moves the change for the first down and gets out of bounds to stop the clock.
Hung in there, completed the play.
Nice throw. Nice catch. Throw. That's Quinzel Lockhart out of Elizabeth City State. And guys, he has put together some highlight catches throughout the week. Jonathan Cardoza-Chicas from Delaware State on to attempt what looks to be about, what do you want to call this, guys? A 29-yard field goal?
Yeah, it's on the 19.
Money.
Names, like naming the teams after them.
Yeah, much respect. Jeremy Musa takes a deep shot.
Damn, Jeremy.
Pass was broken up by number 2 on Team Gaither, Amari Hill Robinson. This is a player you talked about early on, Bucky.
Pays off right there. You did it.
All right.
Oh, nice tackle.
Handoff.
Ooh.
Who was that came flying
He
through?
got that 5-star offensive line.
That's Jablonski Green, who's had an incredible week.
He looked good today.
Jablonski Green looked
good.
Solid career for him.
Riddick drops back. He is under pressure. Oh, there's just no room for him. He is swallowed up.
Swallowed.
Now let's look at number 15, Zarion Hayes out of Alabama A&M.
Much better performance.
Oh, almost a near interception.
Good Lord.
That's supposed to be caught. There's your inning, folks. No runs on no hits with no errors.
All right, Williams hands off. Looks like to his college Howard teammate, Ian Wheeler, as he runs for the first down. SWAC and SIAC, those are mainly in the deep South, Louisiana, Mississippi, states like that. As we're seeing the return, there's an opportunity here. A big play, that's number 4 on the return.
Marcus Riley.
Tackling drill that you work out.
That's the best thing about his game, is kickoff return.
Williams drops back in 2nd and 10. A beautiful.
Oh, nice catch.
What a great catch. It looks like he threw that ball to number 2, Quinzel Lockhart.
Wemby. Boy, is he athletically gifted.
He is athletically gifted. 4.3 speed. That is eye-catching.
All right, Quinn Williams takes the hot snap back at center. He's under pressure.
Oh, there we go.
Do we know this man?
Rasheed Lyles.
Oh.
But right now, he didn't care about the jersey. He just got a sack in the Legacy Bowl.
And remember, just kind of what you guys were talking about. We were talking about it earlier is on the return here.
Uh-oh.
Looks like
Oh, we got you.
out of Texas Southern. He can go to the left side of the field. Oh, a big hit.
HBCU students who had an opportunity to sit down and really put themselves out there for a job interview.
I believe 14 teams from the NFL were on hand, offering out potential job possibilities, as well as the NFL and the NFL Network. So well done by the organizers of the All-State HBCU Legacy Bowl.
Athletics for the past year. The Green brothers, internships with Deloitte Touche, have opportunities to have jobs if they don't play pro football.
Oh, wow. And we just saw the guy we talked about, Zarion Hayes, with the strip sack.
It was just a matter of time.
Of Donovan Riddick.
Listen, you got to pick an MVP.
Oh, no, that was Lubert Dinellis.
Dinellis. Oh,
the
the
two-time
hesitation.
SWAC Player of the Year out of Benedict College.
Nonchalant when it comes to delivering the ball.
As well.
All right, moves with the play action. He rips it right there.
Now that's the throw. That's the throw we've been waiting on.
Marcus Riley out of Florida A&M Beaver.
Yo,
But, tough play to make and
somebody should have
all
told
over.
Moose
Okay,
you
Musa
can't keep
on
passing
3rd and
the
6.
same player even in the-
Oh, he's under pressure. Still makes the completion.
It's a first down. And if
Ball
you're
to
in
number
pro
5.
rules, it's a touchdown.
To Lyndon
That's right.
Rash out of Grambling, and you are playing
That's right,
rules.
because pro rules, if you don't touch them down.
Did not touch him down.
A heads-up play, and Musa, he was under tremendous pressure. And Lyndon Rash out of Grambling State makes the great catch to get Team Robinson on the scoreboard.
He can get his defense, get a stop, leads him down, lead him to a victory.
And Tom Picarillo, this is an important PAT attempt, and he misses it wide
Dang, you
left.
couldn't hit the backside
Kick out
of
of
the bar.
Benedict
This is
College.
NFL and you missed it.
Misses it wide left.
What
Who
were you
looked really good through some on-time plays. The Florida A&M quarterback, though, starts this drive with a handoff. It looks like to Ladarius Owens. Oh, what a nice run off left tackle.
John Wooten could play now.
I didn't. It's between Quentin Williams from Howard University.
Oh,
Team Gay, they're throwing to his teammate.
Oh,
Tight end
he's-
Brennan Brown, he goes over the top and gets the first down. Drive. And then was taken to the hospital.
There we
with
go.
injury.
There we go.
Now to Keyshawn Hinckley. Runs into his own man, but he sets up a little space so he gets finished off. But Hinckley out of Bowie State on the reverse toss.
His long in 2023
If you
was
miss a
47.
kick at the
So you're
NFL
right there at
at
the
the
outer range.
NFL
with
now,
Adrian Olivo.
You might
He did
well
win the
go ahead
award.
and
Yeah, he was
I
the
Yes,
best
he did.
for the year, but
I
I'm
don't
talking
know.
about length. Yeah, the distance. It's right out there.
Oh, that's for us right there. We got
Damn,
Did
where
you
the
get
hell
it?
did that go? 'Cause you
No.
gotta move it
They'll
out.
be able to stop the
You
clock
might as
quickly
well go
here,
ahead and leave.
and then you've got plays. The third down, you can run the whole thing out.
he popped.
Oh, a big run up the middle. Latrell Collier
And you can go ahead and
out of North Carolina Central.
Dang.
Oh, man.
They make the highlights are exciting, right, Mr. Ford?
Yeah, that's
Highlight. That
that's
highlight
awesome
made
things.
it seem like it was that stuff was live. The way they chopped it up, I got excited. I was like, oh well.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
But you saying the quarterback play wasn't good. So was the quarterback play not good, or was the defense just overwhelming? Javonte Green
defense was overwhelming. I told you they had some good defensive linemen in this game. Now Moose's got his release. When he comes out that pocket, he's got to get rid of that ball quicker. Like you said earlier, he kind of lazy because he had that good offensive line protection down at Florida A&M. I thought today he was a little late on his throws.
He had 5 stars and everything. You wasn't getting past that. He had time for days. Here,
Yeah,
it looks
yeah.
like you got to be on your piece. I did notice that he was kind of favoring Marcus Riley. Like when you come to this, you can't. You got to pass to everybody now.
Oh yeah.
You can't just focus on your team, which is one
Marcus'
of the
thing to me is his kickoff return, and he's really good at kickoff return.
So a lot of the people that are the scouts and stuff, they look heavily for players that can also do special teams, right?
Yeah,
Special teams
yeah, they
are
do.
really big pickup. So even
Yeah.
if they're scouting for undrafted free agents, or if you do have the XFL there or the CFL, they're going to be looking for hybrid players who can do more than
Right.
just one
Yeah.
position, but also can you get some numbers for special teams?
Yes.
a couple of players that I was wanting to see have breakout game. Colton Adams, of course, the linebacker from Alabama State. And, you know, this is kind of like a compilation, right? So the first thing they're going to look at heavily is your stats. Or not stats, I'm sorry, your measurables. Measurables are more are probably the number one thing they look at. And then your practice film might come secondary. So I wanted to talk about this D. Jones Co-Player of the Year award, Mr. Ford, because
I didn't agree with it. I didn't agree with that.
I think when we look at the other two, the last two players that won, which was Shedeur Sanders last year, and then Akil Glass, it's kind of like, does the players that were chosen, does their level of play match up to that, right? So Jeremy Musa almost threw for 3,000 yards. He had 22 passing touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Davius Richard, or Ricard, as the NFL commentator said, he had 2,177, 21 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. I mean, as far as completion goes, Musa pretty much steadied at 57.8%, even with a better offensive line, right? And then Davius kind of regressed. He went from 63.9 to 60.8. But when you think of why Musa would be chosen, it would probably be because they won the SWAC.
The Celebration Bowl. Yes.
Celebration Bowl.
They won the Celebration Bowl.
I mean, you can't deny that, right?
That's right. So he's a beneficiary of that. Because that FAMU team was a defensive-led team.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah.
They did win over Alabama A&M 42-28. Prairie View 45-7. I mean, but Davius, he had some losses on his resume for this past year. One of them being Richmond. You know, Richmond lost to Hampton.
Hampton, yeah.
And I want to say they lost to Morgan State. That was Morgan State's first big win of the season against Richmond.
Right.
So you lose to Richmond, and Richmond lost to Morgan State. I want to say Davius got kind of injured in the Richmond game too.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think the Howard game. So I don't know. I just feel like it was kind of like politics, right? You have a 12-1. I've never heard of them do co-offensive player of the year. So what was that? You think that was politics?
Always. Politics is always involved, especially if it's sports. Because if I had to pick one, it would be the kid from Central. Because for some of them games, I'm telling you.
If I had to pick somebody, I would pick Ladarius Owens, the running back from Texas.
Yeah, he could have been it. Yeah, you're right. Ladarius Owens. Yeah, he could have been in it.
Because, Akil Glass won. But that doesn't take away from the fact that I want to say that also the differential between rushing touchdowns and passing. So Davius had Musa by a landslide.
Yeah, like I said, I thought that the best quarterback was that Davius Rich's kid from North Carolina Central.
He had 18 rushing touchdowns.
He's a dual threat.
How you gonna have 18 rushing touchdowns?
He's a dual threat quarterback. He's an athlete.
I don't think Javion Howard put up as many rushing yards as he did.
Well, everybody was running 8 people on the line on him this year. That's why their vertical game took off for Alcorn. They were able to bomb people this year because a lot of people decided to take away the run game at Alcorn and match up one-on-one on the outside, and they got burned. One of them was Jackson State because them wide receivers burned them corners at Jackson this year at the vet.
You said we was getting burnt like toast.
Yeah, them corners got burned. If you go back and look at that Jackson State game, them guys was going deep on them.
I want to say Jeremy Musa's rushing was.
But that's not his thing. Jeremy Musa's the last thing. He might can escape, but ain't no dual threat about him. Jeremy Musa's thing is he has a big time arm. He's basically one dimensional.
He had 2 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah. Yeah.
And negative 10 yards rushing. He didn't have any rushing. It was
He's a pocket passer. That's what he is.
That's why it's kind of like, okay, so it was more so of a like you won the season, so we're gonna go ahead and give it to you. Which is crazy, right? So politics. Mr. Ford.
Huh?
Let's talk about this SWAC basketball tournament.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Are you going? It's March 13th.
I know it's in Birmingham, right?
Yeah, it's March 13th through the 16th. I know you was complaining about the
Yeah, I don't like the semifinals setup.
But I think actually, you want to know what? I think
Introducing our all-star lineup.
We already explained it. The commissioner explained it, and he said that basically they scheduled it like that for the people that live in Birmingham, right? So it has really nothing to do with like they have built some supporters from inside the community, and so that's why it's set up the way it is.
Okay, I'm not buying it.
You said you're not buying that?
No, I'm not buying it. That don't fly with me.
Because I asked him at SWAC Media Day, I asked him about the tournament, and he said that basically the tournament in itself, it's set up so that the community can support. Because people aren't going to be able to come like every Wednesday or Thursday. Like they're just not going to be able to come. So they focus on that. So March 13th through the 16th. Do you think we should have a tournament? I want to see. I think I'm going to have a bracket competition. And we're going to do a giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to schedule that. But I know you said you didn't necessarily like the setup. But when you were talking about the setup, so basically you want the women to take the 11 o'clock game? Like I didn't understand.
No, I want the women. I want both of the men semifinal games that Friday night to be after 7 o'clock. I don't want no men's semifinal game played during the day. I want the men's semifinal games played after 7 o'clock. And I want the 2 women's semifinal games played before before the boys play. Like I said, all they got to do is go. The best one to me is the CIAA brackets. Go look at how they do it in the CIAA. That's all. You don't have to recreate the wheel. Just do it the way the CIAA does. Yeah, that's all they got to do.
Hey Craig, how you doing? I don't know. Well, we're not gonna have it. One thing that he rest assured me that folks will have a chance to bid on it, but the cities have to give them some incentives. And I don't see any of the cities like Jackson or Baton Rouge matching the incentives that Birmingham gave. So
yeah, I could still. I mean, it's a beautiful arena. It's just that the brackets for the semifinals are messed up. That's the only complaint I have. The Friday night brackets are bad. It's not fan friendly.
they have one at 11, one at 5:30, one at 2, and one at 8:30.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So the men's game is at 2.
Huh? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The men's game
That should be that Friday night. No men's game should be before 7 p.m. You should have.
Why do you feel like the men?
Because when you have them after 7 p.m., people who want to make that trip, they can get there. They can get there if you got both of the men's semifinal games after 7. People can make the trip. But if you're gonna have a semifinal game at 11 o'clock, people are working.
No,
it makes no sense.
The men's games are at 2 and at 8:30.
Okay, 2 makes no sense. 2 makes no sense. I'm gonna say it again. Go and look at the CIAA brackets and look at how they run their Friday. We don't have to recreate the wheel.
Do you think that they should move it to a Sunday championship?
Oh, I wouldn't have a problem with that either. No.
Because if you move it to a Sunday championship instead of a Saturday where that's the final, so if you move it to a Sunday, then daytime games aren't going to affect you as much, right?
I wouldn't have a problem with a Sunday. I wouldn't have a problem with a Sunday championship. I wouldn't have a problem at all.
So maybe that would be the change that you could make so that because let's keep it a buck, if you do Saturday and Sunday, you might be able to draw more.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You'd have a bigger crowd. And these kids deserve to have a crowd. But I'm just saying the way that those brackets are set up on a Friday night, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Listen, all I say is why do we have to, let's not work harder, work smarter.
Contract where they don't have availability for Sunday. So that would be something that if you're going to do that, you renegotiate a SWAC tournament weekend. You make it instead of a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, make it a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Right?
Oh yeah. Listen, if you do what I'm telling you to do, you play the 2 semifinal games of girls. Okay, that's over about 7:30. Then you come with the boys at about 7:30. The first semifinal boys game about 7:30, and then 20 minutes after you have the second semifinal. You could end up with a crowd of 7,000 or 8,000 people in there. You really could, and that would be great. In that Bartow Center, that's a beautiful arena, but they're not doing it right.
Do you think they should also add like a Battle of the Bands mixture in there or something?
Oh yeah, I think any team that's in the semifinals, the conference should provide for them to have a band. The little, not the whole band, but I mean, bring some of the pieces for their school.
That's one of those things, though. It's real last minute, right? Because it literally just depends on. You would have to have students on standby. And I want to say, when is their spring break?
Well, most of them going to take spring break like that first week in March, I think. First week in March.
Spring break is March 18th.
Spring break is March 18th. Okay.
So basically, and that's not to say that folks wouldn't be available for it, but let me see. I want to say that right around that time is spring break.
Yeah. Well,
And I just don't think like someone in the chat said the girls Jackson State should be last. They're the moneymaker. So that my thing to that is it just depends on how you set it up, right? Because after that first level of games, you sending folks home. So you just don't know. That's one of those, I don't even know how you would do that, right? Because you have to, for some of those bands, you would have to get hotels for them, but you don't even know if they're going to stay. So unless the SWAC just puts a block for, puts a couple of blocks in for bands to stay, right? Because is Florida A&M, the women's team, are they going to make it this year?
What place are they in?
I need to go ahead and look that up because they've been, I don't know.
They take the first.
They take the first 8. I don't know. They might.
Because they start on campus, right? Don't the tournament start on the campuses?
No.
Wait a minute. Everybody goes to Birmingham?
No, just the 8. Just whoever, the 8 that are the top 8, basically. Only the top 8. So 4 people don't make it.
Okay, I'm saying, but don't the original games start on campus, or they all go to Birmingham?
They all go to Birmingham.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's why they had a Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's look at these standings. Let's see who the top 8 are. Well, I mean, for right now, Florida A&M in the middle of the pack on the women's side.
So they would be in it, right?
Yep. So we got, for right now, we got Jackson State at 1, Grambling at 2, and they did update these rankings because I see that Jackson State's at 14-0, so they must have just updated it. Jackson State's at 1 with 14-0. Grambling State is at 11-3. Arkansas Pine Bluff is at 9-5. Southern's at 9-5. Alabama A&M, and then Florida A&M 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So Florida A&M is at number 6.
What's their SWAC record?
7-7.
Oh, okay. All right.
Prairie View's at 6-8, and Bethune-Cookman's at 5-9. So, and then Alabama State is below Valley.
Yes,
Alabama State's in last.
Because they usually have a really good girls program. That's Miss Jackson.
So they're saying that I don't know why do they keep ranking Norfolk as number 1 on the women's side? Why do they keep
You know what? I would love to see. You know what? In the tournament, in the NCAA tournament, I wish we could see Jackson and Norfolk meet up. Man, I'd love to see that.
Why do they keep doing that? And Norfolk has a loss in conference play. Like, what are we doing here? Right?
Yeah,
they keep saying that Norfolk State, first of all, Norfolk State only played 9 games. Let me see, who did they lose to in conference play? They lost to Howard. What are we talking about here? Why are we even having this discussion? They lost to Howard. Norfolk State lost to Howard. And I think they're doing that for engagement, right? Because once you lose to somebody in your conference, you can't be number 1. So the only way that I feel like they'll give Jackson State a chance is if they can seed them at like a 13 or 14 seed, right?
Yeah.
And even that'll be hard, right?
Yeah.
Just as long as they don't put us in at 16 seed.
That's the spot they always got for the HBCU.
They always put us at 16, right?
They put us at 16.
I think Norfolk State got ranked at 16, and they had to play South Carolina. And Don Staley said that they are not a 16 seed team.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Right. So Jackson State is going to have to tear it up. I'm surprised at the men's side. At this point, who you think is going to pull it out?
You talking about in the tournament?
Yeah, in the men's side.
It's going to be between probably Grambling and Southern.
What?
Yeah. Because they've been dominant. Those two teams have been dominant the whole year. It might be a all Louisiana basketball championship.
So I asked in the chat the overall performance of undefeated Jackson State women's team. Like, how do they feel about the performance? 33% said we are fine and undefeated. Another 33% said a win is a win. 22% said we're playing down to the competition, and 10% said too close for comfort. So,
well, to me, it's like Jackson at number 1 and everybody else is fighting for number 2.
I understand that, but you listen. All I know is that I was sitting right here at my desk streaming Southern versus Jackson State, the last 5 seconds of the game, and that girl lobbed up the 3-pointer, and she beat us. Whew, flashbacks. All right, Mr. Ford.
Uh-huh.
We're about to get on down. We don't got nothing else to talk about because Jackson State won today.
Let me say this. I want to say this to the people from North Carolina A&T.
Oh, wait, North Carolina A&T, y'all on
North
the clock.
Carolina A&T, yeah. I'm very disappointed in you as an alumni, and the fact that you allowed President Martin and A.D. Hilton to destroy your football program, and that the fact that you have not been proactive in getting Hilton out of there for what he's done. And it's horrible. And I'm just waiting on you to. I have a tremendous amount of respect for North Carolina A&T, especially their sports. And I just want y'all to do something about it. And when I say do something about it, if it means coming back to the MEAC, go back to the MEAC. But it's ridiculous. Your football program, I think last year won what, 1 game? Was that right?
It was bad. They won 1 game.
1 game? And then the year before, what did they win? 3 or 4? And so, which means you're going to end up firing about 4 or 5 coaches in the next 6 or 7 years.
So that's a lot of instability.
Yeah. So y'all need to listen. The alumni at North Carolina A&T, you need to become proactive and get your program straightened out.
Well, the women's team, the women's North Carolina A&T Aggie women's basketball team is 3rd in the conference.
Well, what I'm talking about is basically about that football program.
Right, because that's
I need them to get that football program out of the gutter because it's in the gutter.
I mean, at this point, when you are doing that, so there's a couple of things that you need to do to come out of the gutter. One of them is, I don't know, they played HBCUs, they played the teams in their conference, and they still were getting their ass beat, right?
Yes, they were.
First of all, you're going to have to commit to a coach. They was ready to get rid of the coach. As soon as he went 1-11, they was ready to get rid of him.
I think they're going to eventually get rid of it. I think that they're in over their head in that CAA, and I think that ultimately he's on the clock this year. I think he's on the clock.
You hired him late.
Right.
You can't even count that. That's a wash. You hired him late. Okay,
right.
So let's look at their football schedule and you tell me what they're going. So the first game they have is Wake Forest University.
A big loss.
Winston-Salem State.
Now they should win that.
University of Delaware.
Loss.
North Carolina Central,
Loss.
South Carolina State,
Loss.
University of Richmond,
Loss.
who went to the tournament or the postseason play. Hampton University at home for a homecoming. They're gonna lose their homecoming.
They're gonna lose their homecoming.
Listen, I'm glad that they have a HBCU for their homecoming. Shout out to North Carolina A&T.
They call it G-Home.
Yeah, let's put some positivity. They did book a HBCU for homecoming, so that's good.
Right.
That's gonna be lit, right? All right, let's go to the next one. Campbell University.
Toss up.
Okay. William and Mary.
Loss.
Villanova.
Loss big.
Y'all get Dave. Shout out to Dave last year. Me and him were going back and forth on Doc's show, and he was talking mess, and I said, I bet you $100 that North Carolina A&T ain't gonna win more than 2 games.
They won 1.
And I won $100.
There you go.
He just went ahead and made the payment. He didn't even come on the show or nothing. He just made the payment. But he did make the payment to Jackson State Athletics. So shout out to Dave.
You might can make that same bet again and win again.
What about Towson University?
Loss.
Elon?
Toss up.
Okay, so you had 2 toss-ups and 1 win.
Okay, that's about right.
So is that okay? So basically, does North Carolina A&T need a celebrity hire?
The main thing they need personally is that I think they need to go back to the MEAC.
Okay, what schools need to go back to or be elevated to the MEAC? Me personally, I don't think it serves Tennessee State to go to the MEAC. I don't think it does.
Tennessee State is pitiful. I basically believe that game in Memphis, that Tennessee State game when they used to play Jackson State in Memphis, and this year they played
UAPB.
Yeah, I think that game is going to die.
You talking about Fred?
Yeah, I think that game. Because see, the prize of that Southern Heritage Classic was Jackson State. Jackson State's no longer in it, and I believe that game's going to die.
Who was the prize, Mr. Ford?
Jackson State. They brought all the fans, and now Jackson State is gone. That game is going to die.
Now, Mr. Ford, they were saying, it was like fake outrage, right? So they were saying that, oh, Jackson State lost $800,000 behind Dion pulling out of that game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it actually came out that we made about $197,000 in the clear when we go to that Memphis game.
Right.
And it also came out that we didn't lose any money because it was an insurance claim.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So even though the coach that shall not be named, even though he said, y'all not gonna be 200,000. What are we gonna do with 200,000? We can't do nothing with that. So even though he was the catalyst for us pulling out of that game, we didn't lose anything. We didn't lose anything from pulling out because we filed the insurance claim. And then to top it off, although the exit of that particular coach was not pretty, we actually gained $2.3 million last year because now the Walmart and the P&G deal, we didn't have to give him any money. We were giving him 40% out of that $2 million. We didn't have to give him that, so we got to keep that. And then they had to pay $300,000, Colorado did, for the exiting out of the contract early. So we got $2.3 million last year, and we're going to get $2 million this year.
Okay.
And that Southern game, we're going to make 700,000 net sales.
Right. Okay. That's a big game. Yeah.
And then 200,000 for concessions and RV parking. That's $900,000 for a home game.
Oh yeah, that's one of the biggest games in HBCU football. That Boombox Classic, that's a big game.
And then I guess so it's good right now that Southern and Alcorn are on alternating years, right? Because those two games both net right around the same amount of money. So on Southern's year, when we're in Southern, we're not going to make any money because it's a home and home, but we have the Alcorn game to cushion it, Alcorn and homecoming. And then vice versa. When it's time for Southern to come to Jackson State, we're going to go to Alcorn, but the Southern and homecoming game makes right about the same number. So that's why it's interesting to try to figure out what is the attraction with the classics. Well, maybe I need to do an interview with the AD to figure out like what is the reason that ADs decide to take these classics from a Jackson State perspective, right? Probably not for any other school, because I don't know of any other school in the SWAC or MEAC that gets those type of numbers. So if that's the case, then I can definitely understand why they would take a payout.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But the question right now is, and I've come up with this question because of this conversation I had with some graduates of Alcorn. Has Alcorn destroyed their program? I think that's a question that's going to be answered this. Yeah, I think Alcorn might be done destroyed their program. We got to wait and see.
You're talking about.
And see, the thing about Alcorn, when they mess up and make the wrong decision, they become irrelevant for sometimes 10 years or more. Because remember, after Steve McNair, they were basically irrelevant for almost 10 or 15 years until the coming of Jay Hobson. And so the question now is, has Alcorn gone into a state of irrelevance?
Okay, I'm getting ready to ask that question for folks in the chat. Has Alcorn coaching, you talking about the football team, right?
Right, the football team. Have they destroyed their program?
Okay, so I'm going to say this. What are some reasons that people continue to have a coach? Or excuse me, not coach. What is the reason that they hire from within? And so for me, I would say, number one, continuity is important.
Yeah, continuity, yeah. Familiarity, loyalty.
I didn't see that many folks from Alcorn get into the transfer portal, right? You just
I hadn't seen anybody either.
So I think you're just questioning maybe offensively if they're going to be able to pull it together, or is this continuation for this particular coaching staff? Are they well enough to get it done, right? So do you go from a 6-5 to a 8-3, or are you able to pull out the SWAC West? When I look at the SWAC West for 2004, I mean, it's wide open to me.
Well, my two teams is, of course, Grambling, and I think Prairie View is going to be tough.
Now, why are you over here putting Grambling? And it's
I
a
think
first-year coach.
I do.
His level of recruiting.
And by the way, didn't Grambling get a new president? I think Grambling's got a new president.
They do.
Yeah, they got a. He's a Grambling graduate, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You want me to pull him up?
I think I knew his mom and his dad. His dad was
you know what?
Yeah, his dad was a basketball star at Grambling. His mother was a internal auditor. She was like a chief accountant there when I was there.
His name is
LeMayo.
Martin.
Isn't it LeMayo?
Martin. I don't know how to pronounce it. Martin LeMayo. It might
LeMayo.
be
LeMayo. Yeah, that's him. I think his daddy was a basketball star for Coach Hobby. His mother was an internal auditor for Dr. Johnson when I was there in the 80s.
He's a 2006 graduate and former SGA president.
Yeah, I remember I think I know his mom and dad.
He was a vice president and financial officer at Maryland Institute College of the Arts. Congrats to Grambling for being able to appoint a president that actually has some experience in working in administrative position in colleges. Congrats.
Yeah.
We're not so lucky. So as far as Alcorn, it's one of those wait and sees, but I will say this: the SWAC West is absolutely wide open. You just cleared out the West. How are you gonna say that they've destroyed their program and everybody on the West is new outside of Bubba McDowell?
Well, now let me just say this. I've told you this before. When you put Dooley at offense coordinator, whether it was at Grambling or Pine Bluff, he does very well. Okay. I really like this Jason Rollins as a defense coordinator.
Well,
and then I like what's that guy? Is his name Mickey? What's his name? Mickey Joseph as head coach. I think that's a good staff. Because Grambling had talent. They had some boys, but they will put it together. Now, of course, I think Southern's gonna be tough.
Did you hear about Fred McNair going to Southern?
But not that I listened to the Carlos Brown show today. They're saying that's not true. See, according to Carlos, he talked to Terrence Graves.
Okay, so
yeah, and they're saying that that's not true. Which I thought it would be a great move for Southern to have.
What I'm going to need Ken Rashad to do, because Ken Rashad from HBCU Sports is the one that keeps releasing these articles, and then it's like a snowball effect. Okay. I'm going to need for Fred's agent to give Ken Rashad a cease and desist, right?
Yeah.
And that's and you know what? I didn't report on because usually for the coaching hires or coaching changes, I usually do like a breaking news type of deal. Right. When I seen that Ken Rashad was the starting movement for that particular article and that he was the one that released it, I said I'm gonna wait, because he was the one that put it out that he was going to be hired as the Texas Southern coach. And I was just like, at this point, are you sabotaging Coach McNair's opportunities by prematurely putting this out just because he does an interview or something? But when you look at SWAC West, because I pulled it up, Alcorn State, brand new coach. Southern, new coach. Of course, they're on the staff, but they're still new head coaches. Grambling State, new head coach. Texas Southern, new head coach. UAPB was at the bottom of the barrel. They were 2-9 last year overall, and so this is his second year. Then you have Bubba McDowell. I feel like Bubba McDowell should be the front runner and Prairie View should be the front runner to win, right? Because you've been there the longest. You have had the
defending champ. Yeah.
Your program, and even though you got dog walks by FAMU, you did just win SWAC West championship, right?
Yeah. I think that, like I said, Prairie View should be the favorite. Look for Grambling to make a strong push. Like I said, I really like what Terrence is doing. I still don't agree with him with the defense coordinator job. I thought he went and got, I called it a retread. As the offense coordinator.
And got the $20 tire.
Yeah, he got the Maypop instead of going out and getting a brand new tire.
Dang. So on the East, I'm not gonna lie. I did it last year. I was like, yeah, Jackson State gonna go undefeated. I'm not even gonna lie. The teams that I'm looking with the side eye are Alabama State and Bethune. Those are the only two hiccups I see causing havoc.
You talking about for Jackson?
Yeah, I don't feel like Florida A&M's running it back like they think.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask you. You don't think Florida A&M's going to bring the fire to Jackson?
Nope.
Okay. Well, you know Terrence gonna have them sky high when they come to Jackson now. You know that. He gonna have them sky high.
Who's gonna have them sky high?
Southern. You know that. They coming up in there now.
Southern been getting their ass beat by Jackson State for the past 3
But what
years.
about when they listen? Remember Dawson Otis beat y'all 8 years in a row, didn't he? Then when that Dawson Otis?
TC Taylor is not. Them FAMU folks, they be in my live. And until I say something negative about FAMU, they be quiet as church mouse. If I say something negative, they're gonna speak up.
Listen, that's gonna be a clash. Y'all got FAMU October 19th, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's gonna be a clash, baby. That's gonna be cats and dogs. Yes, that's gonna be a clash out there in the vet. I hope that's a night game. Is that a night game?
I hope so. They need to know.
I hope so too, baby. That's gonna be a clash under them lights. Man, that's gonna be a clash.
You said it's gonna be a clash.
That's gonna be that's gonna be a clash of the Titans right there. That's gonna be probably for whoever wins that game will probably win the SWAC again. Because usually about the last 3 or 4 years, whoever wins between FAMU and Jackson State goes to the Celebration Bowl.
This right here is me trying to find a win for FAMU next year. Them folks going 3-9. I'm trying to find.
You saying FAMU's gonna go 3-9?
Yeah, I'm looking 3-8, 3-8. I'm looking for that win. Look at it. I can't find it.
Okay, tell me the 8 people that's. Let me ask you something.
All right, let me pull it up. They're gonna definitely lose to Alabama State.
I was about to ask you. Tell me the 8 people in the SWAC that's gonna beat. That's gonna be FAMU. You said they're gonna go 3-8?
No. I said they're gonna lose 8 games this year.
Okay, call them out. The games they're gonna lose.
All right, I'm going to get it for you.
Okay.
They're gonna lose to South Carolina State.
Okay.
That's gonna be their first loss at
in
home.
Bragg. That game's in Bragg Labor Day weekend.
Probably like 4 or 5 years, ain't it?
Huh?
South Carolina State gonna give they first loss in 4 or 5 years.
Okay, so you say, okay, give me the next one.
They're gonna lose to University of Miami on September.
I agree
7th.
with you on that. I agree with you on
at
that.
the Hard Rock Stadium. You was in the Hard Rock Stadium last year, and you was there for the Orange Blossom Classic. You going back to Miami, and you know you're finna get your ass whooped, right?
Okay, now who? Wait a minute. Who is gonna beat them after University of Miami?
Troy.
Okay, Troy. That's 3 losses. All right, keep going.
They gonna win Alabama A&M.
Okay, they win that.
They losing to Alabama State.
Okay.
In Montgomery, Alabama.
Yeah, that's Alabama State's homecoming.
They losing to Jackson State.
Okay.
Let me see how many losses that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5. I need to find 3 more.
Right.
Lord, I think they might pull out Southern.
Yeah, Southern comes to them. Southern comes to them.
All right. Texas Southern. They might win that one.
Okay, they'll beat Texas up. Okay. All right. And who's the next?
They losing to Prairie View.
You said they're gonna lose or win the Prairie. What are they gonna do?
They going to Texas and they're gonna lose to Prairie View.
Okay, they'll lose to Prairie View.
That's Prairie View's revenge tour.
Okay.
They play Valley in Tallahassee. They're gonna win that one.
Okay.
They losing to Bethune-Cookman. There you go. That's 8.
Man.
They getting the snake. They getting skin snaked, boot snake, belt snake, snake boots, snake belts, snake skin wallet, snake skin purse. It's gonna be snakes on a plane for that Florida Blue Florida Classic.
Let me tell you something. If they lose 8 games next year, they gonna run that AD out of town. You hear me? They gonna run that later out of town.
It ain't her fault. They
Yes,
gave
it's gonna be her.
they gave
Yes,
her
it
the
is.
coach
It's gonna be her fault. You watch it.
no,
You let them
she
lose
gave them
8
the
games.
coach
They
they
might run
wanted.
the president out, but I
What
know
you
they're gonna run that lady out.
what y'all thought was gonna happen? The AD, the original big girl gave them the coach they wanted. They wanted Coach
They
Colsey.
better not lose no 8 games. I bet you that.
They better not lose 5.
No, that's what I'm talking about. Now, I can see, like you said, now I agree with you about the University of Miami. I agree with you about the that Troy State game, because that's 85 scholarships versus 65. Okay. Now
This is them sending out resignation lists who need to resign and who need to leave.
well, one of
Here
them
it
gonna
is.
be that AD. If they lose 8 games, I know where she going. They're gonna pull a moving van up to her house. Now that game you said about that Alabama State, that's gonna be a dogfight. And if
I don't know.
Alabama State homecoming, that's gonna be a dogfight, huh?
I feel like the same way that, and you know what's funny is I interviewed Coach Robinson at SWAC Media Day.
Eddie,
And I asked
okay.
him, I said, you got your wish. You got your wish now. And he said, did I say that? I said, yes, you said it. You said you wanted to play Jackson State for homecoming. What Alabama State come into Jackson State and do? Whooped our ass.
No, wait a minute. Mr. Mona, y'all gave them that game now. I watched the whole game. No, y'all gave them that game. No, 2 games I saw y'all give away. And it was 2 games where y'all had more talent than them.
Corner Alabama State.
That's right. Y'all gave away them games. I saw them games on TV. Y'all gave away them games. And the thing that was apparent in that Alabama State and Alcorn game was y'all defense couldn't lock down. They couldn't lock down. They couldn't seal it. That's why I told you. Now, Clifton Bradley, I liked him as a defensive line coach, but now his defense coordinating, I think they can get a whole lot better. Because them 2 games they gave away, Jackson gave away both of them games. I watched them.
Listen, Alabama State is belt to ass for FAMU.
We'll see.
They're gonna be selling
I told you, I think it's gonna be a dogfight. I think it's their homecoming.
What type of snake?
It's gonna be a
comment in
stadium.
the chat. What type of snake skin they got? What type of do they got a snake skin rug? I don't even think I've ever heard of a snake skin rug. They gonna have one for sale. Just let them go. But FAMU said they come on. Didn't they tell you in Atlanta that they gonna repeat?
Yeah, they said they're gonna run it back. That's what they saying. They're gonna start in Atlanta and they're gonna end in Atlanta.
They sound like Jackson State. Start in Atlanta, finish in Atlanta. Y'all better. Do you think they can? Do you think Norfolk State has a chance? Let me see. What is Norfolk State? Do you think they have a chance to beat FAMU in Atlanta?
Yeah. You know, it's always got a chance. They got the guy that was the offense coordinator down at
Norfolk State was 3-8 last year.
Yeah, but that was last year. Maybe they get better this year.
They lost to Virginia State. Damn.
That was pitiful. Yeah, that's pitiful. That's Division II beating up on
that's the only win that they got was against North Carolina A&T. I know they ain't got a chance in hell. They lost to A&T last year.
Yeah, that's pitiful. That was A&T's only win, right?
Well, if that's the case, then I'm sorry, but I feel like FAMU's gonna bring home the MEAC SWAC challenge, which I don't mind. You guys can represent the SWAC for that, right?
Yeah, they'll win that. They'll win. Matter of fact, the guy who's going to be the starting quarterback for Norfolk started his career at FAMU. The quarterback, what's that kid's name? Sapp. Sapp started out at FAMU. Yeah, his uncle played with Willie at Clemson.
I know that even though FAMU doesn't want to admit it, I know they like, Willie gone! He's gone! I know they still crying. I know they are. They don't have to admit it.
The ones the ladies I work with, they still in shock about Willie. But the thing about it is that they did keep those kids. And it's a team that's a veteran
let's
team.
Just keep it a buck. Those games were really, really close. And what did it come down to? It came down to coaching and play calling. And what do we know that they don't have at this point in time? Coach Willie Simmons created and made an atmosphere and play calling that made Jeremy Musa Offensive Player of the Year, right? With his play calling and his coaching. And now that we've seen that the coaching and the offensive play calling is not there, what do we see?
Well,
see the
let me say this now.
Musa, right?
What's his name? Is it Joseph Henry? He's going to be the play caller, I think.
Well, we'll get to see it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's going to be the play caller.
So,
the guy who's over the offensive line.
He said they're running it back. They running it back.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. So they're going to run it back.
I know that I'm going to come to.
Now, really, the people in Tallahassee are saying that there's only one question mark about that next year's team, and that's at quarterback. Now, the word is that this kid they're getting from FAU has been ordained as the new quarterback, and they're saying that he's better than Musa.
Well, here's what I'll say to FAMU's noise that they make about all conference players. The performances today by some of those all-conference players, they make it seem political, right? On the biggest stage, we're talking about this is the stage where you have an opportunity to make money. This is your money. This is your money maker. If there's any a day that you would want to be on, it's when you're on NFL Network. And it was lackluster.
Yeah, but that happens at, all-star games. You got to, you get a week to be together and you're throwing stuff at the wall. That happens at all-star game. Okay.
But I feel like players who I know Devontae Davis was at the HBCU Legacy Bowl.
Yeah.
For HBCU players, shout out to Jackson State. I don't know about any other fan base or video content creators, but Jackson State was in the building for that.
And let me say this to you. I can't wait to tell Miss Lori, you say, fam, you going to win. Dr. Lori, that fam, you going to lose 8 games. You're going to make me have to call Dr. Lori.
Dr. Lori that I said that.
Yeah, I'm going to have to call Dr. Lori on that. Now, you make me have to, I have to, boy, I have to call Dr. Lori
now. Dr. Lori is going to say, we are ratless.
That's right. And I can't wait to tell her that Mr. Mona said y'all going to lose 8 games. I can't wait to tell her that.
In the words of Dr. Lori, my chest can't be tight.
No, that's right.
My chest can't be tight. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Rattlers are going 3-8. I just called out. Okay, so at best, they're going to lose a minimum of 2 games, right? Troy and Miami, right?
Yeah, I agree with you on that now. I agree with you on that.
Then that means you're going to be are you going to sit your starters so that you don't have any bad injuries? You can't be risking your number 1 players. I'll just take the L, right?
I'm going to say this. I don't think they stay in the game with University of Miami, but I think they can stay in the game at least a half, maybe 3/4 with Troy State.
I'm not risking it. I'm sorry, because I'm not risking my most valuable players. I know that it sounds bad, but when you start playing Power 5 teams, don't even risk your players to do what? You can get your ass whooped. And if you lose your players for the conference, your conference play is going to change.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it.
Like even Alabama State. Andrew Body going to have to show me something, right?
Man, that's what everybody's waiting to see what Andrew Body's going to do. That's it. Hey. That's a $64,000 question. Man, that boy, everybody's talking about him.
Did Alabama State and it's interesting, right? Because we actually have the Texas Southern offensive line coach. That's who is our new offensive line coach. And I always said that he needed a better O-line. He needed a better O-line. So we're going to see how Andrew Body performs at Alabama State. If he doesn't, because at this point, Alabama State is putting all their eggs in one basket on Andrew Body to win it, right? Because that's what they needed was the quarterback play. That was the problem with Alabama State. Defensively, they were on. They lose Colton Adams. They lost Demetrius Davis in the offensive side of things. And I think they lost a couple of other key players. Alabama State did. Some DBs. Russell Haynes always says that the money games get your players to the NFL. The only players that I've ever seen in the last 5 to 10 years get money off of playing these money games is from South Carolina State.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway.
Now, have you noticed that new defensive staff that Cornell Main has put together? They're all veterans. Did you see that?
Let me see what coach.
Yeah, he's brought back. He's got Cedric Thornton. He has the coach that was.
Is that a Cedric Thornton from Grambling?
Yeah, he's going to be the defensive line coach. He's got the guy from South Carolina State last year. He's going to be the.
South Carolina State wasn't playing good last year.
Huh?
South Carolina State wasn't playing good last year.
Well, he brought that defense coordinator to Huntsville or the Normal, because the whole defensive staff now is nothing but old veteran defensive coaches. One guy's named Grant. He was at North Carolina Central. He was at A&M as a DC, but they got rid of him. Now they brought him back. Look up the staff at. They got nothing but old veterans. Thornton's gonna have the defensive line.
Corey Barlow.
Okay, so what has he got?
Corey
The DBs?
Barlow is the defensive backs coach.
Wait a minute, did he go to Auburn? Where did Corey Barlow go? Did he go to Auburn?
Said, he was serving 3 seasons as a defensive backs coach at South Carolina State. I don't know why they putting this in there. South Carolina State Barlow was part of the squad that defeated Jackson State in 2021 Celebration Bowl and won the HBCU Black College National Championship.
Mm-hmm.
The year saw 2 of his cornerbacks, Jacoby Durant and Zafir Kelly, received first-team All-MEAC honors. Jacoby was named MEAC Defensive Player of the Year, and he was selected in the 4th round of the NFL draft.
Yeah, he was tough. I saw him. He was
good.
A player. That Jacoby Durant was a player, man.
Before coming to South Carolina State, Barlow spent 2 seasons as a defensive coordinator at Southwest Mississippi Junior College, where he coached DeMarcus Mitchell, who's now a defensive end with the New England Patriots. Prior to Southwest, thank you, Mr. Barnes. Barlow was a defensive coordinator at Faulkner University after serving as a defensive coordinator and secondary coach at Savannah State.
And where did he go to school? Where did Barlow go to school?
So he also coached at UAB, University of Alabama, Birmingham. He's coached at University of Rhode Island and 4 years at Morehouse College. He's an All-American cornerback from Auburn University, where he played under legendary head coach Pat Dye.
Yeah, he's from Atlanta. Isn't he from Atlanta?
Yes, a native of Georgia. And he was a part of the SEC championship too. They won 2 SEC championships.
Oh, yeah, he played with them Rocker boys. Remember Tracy Rocker and David Rocker? I think Tracy won the Outland Trophy or something.
It says that he was selected in the 5th round of the Philadelphia Eagles, the 5th round of the 1992 NFL draft for the Philadelphia.
I remember him. Now he's gonna have the DBs at Alabama A&M, right?
Yeah, but they ain't the DBs like at Jackson State, and then he ain't no Terenzo Quinn. No, I'm just kidding. So it looks like he has a lot of experience, right?
He does. I saw him. I saw him when he was in high school. I saw him. Now, who are the other in Cedric Thornton on that staff?
Let me see if they put his stuff up there because I think they just named that. Okay, so I think that this is a good get, right? But I do remember that Coach Maynard went. I don't know what happened after he got his tail tucked for that 61-15 loss. That offseason, he went and recruited, I kid you not, I want to say it was like 15 DBs and did none of them.
One year he went out and got 56 kids or 57 kids out the transfer portal.
And didn't do nothing with them. He was just
because he had Bullwell them as his defense coordinator. I think they done got rid of him. So,
all right, let's see if they got him in there. Okay, they got him in there.
Who is that?
Coach Thornton.
Yeah, he's gonna be. I think he's defensive line. He going to defensive line.
So it says Cedric Thornton begins his first year as the defensive end coach at Alabama A&M University. Thornton comes to Alabama A&M after serving 2 seasons as a defensive coordinator at Grambling State under head coach Hugh Jackson. Thornton coached defensive end Sundiana Anderson, who earned numerous Southwestern Athletic Conference national honors. In addition, he coached Keyshawn Johnson, who received 2023 Stats Perform FCS Freshman All-American. Thornton developed and guided the Alcorn State defense to 2 SWAC championships and a pair of Celebration Bowl appearances.
Yeah, he did. I remember that.
So Thornton played in the NFL for a little bit.
Now, who's the defense coordinator?
The defensive coordinator, let's see.
It's that guy from South Carolina State, I think.
No, you just named one. They bought somebody else from South Carolina?
They brought somebody else, yeah. It should be another guy.
Well, what's his name? There's like 20 people. There's like 30 people on here. They got a long list.
Of coaches?
Yes, there's like a whole bunch of coaches on here.
Okay, go start at Maynard, and I'll tell you who if we cover his name.
Cameron Alexander, Corey. Okay, we already did Cora Barley. Dietrich Barty, Prince Bordy, Rodney Broughton, Paul Bryant.
That Paul Bryant is the AD, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. All right, let's see who else we got. Jeremy Cheeks. I think this is just like all of the AD. Thomas Coleman. Does anybody know it? We should have some Alabama A&M folks in the chat.
Because he redid that whole defensive staff. And everybody, I think, was a veteran. Wait a minute. Somebody said his name is Thomas Howard. Do you see him? It says he brought the DC from South Carolina State. Do you see Thomas Howard on there?
Yeah, I do. I got it.
All right, read what it says about Thomas Howard.
His alma mater is Morehouse.
Oh, no.
What you mean, oh, no?
I thought this, okay.
I said his alma mater, like he graduated from Morehouse. All right.
Okay, read what it's, okay, go on. I'm sorry.
So Thomas Howard began his first season as a defensive coordinator at Alabama A&M. He was the defensive coordinator and linebackers coach at South Carolina State University.
That's it.
He had the opportunity to work under, of course, Buddy Pugh. His defense finished as one of the top defenses in the MEAC, finishing first in the conference in rush defense. Howard coached MEAC linebacker Aaron Smith, defensive end Patrick Godbolt, and defensive tackle Najon Barber. Before joining the staff at South Carolina State, Howard was an integral part of the championship run at North Carolina A&T from 2015 to 2022. During Howard's time, he helped lead the Aggies to 4 HBCU Black College National.
I think this guy's good. Yeah, I think I know who that is.
So you feel like this is a turnaround for Alabama A&M because, for right now.
They're going to play defense now.
You
That's
said they
what I was never impressed with. See, Boulware to me was not a leader of men. That was his problem. He was not a leader of men. They gonna get listen. They getting ready to play some defense at Alabama A&M now. They gonna play some defense.
No, I did not see that Coach Mo was trying to beat the ref up.
Who?
Remember when
that?
I told you Coach Mo got ejected?
Yeah.
He was trying to beat up the refs, allegedly.
Darn. Hopefully he didn't lose his composure like that. That don't sound good. I don't like that.
I mean, if they're cheating.
No, still, you don't lose your composure.
If you rally all the way to from being down to tying the game to going to overtime, and then you get to overtime and the refs are messing with you and you get a double foul, that's crazy. Mr. Garner said Tennessee State basketball legend Dick Skull Barnett is being named to be selected for the 2024 Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's an all-time great. He was on 3 national championship teams, NAIA, under the legendary black coach. What was his name? He was at North Carolina Central, Tennessee State. Oh man, what's that man's name? Darn, as soon as I get off here, I'll have his name. They wrote a book about him. There's a book written. He was Skull Barnett's coach at Tennessee State. Hey, you Tennessee State people, what was Skull Barnett's coach name at Tennessee State? He was a national spokesman for Converse sneakers for years. He went to the University of Kansas. He actually was taught by James A. Naismith.
Coach John McClendon?
That's him, Coach John McClendon. He was taught, the man who created basketball, he taught John McClendon.
So you think that Alabama A&M might be to look out for, huh?
Got to, because that's the only thing gonna save Maynard's job.
Maynard gonna be playing like he fighting for his life this year. Then
yeah, he gonna have some defense. He gonna have some defense this year.
He said that he only gets paid for winning SWAC games. Well, he better start winning them.
Yeah, he got to win some SWAC games this year, baby. Because if not, maybe Williams, the president up there is Dr. Williams. Williams still gonna get rid of him if he don't have a good year this year.
So there's a couple of coaching. There you go again with your coaching, opening up the coaching wheel. Mr. Ford, you good for predicting new hires.
He got to roll this year because Williams them love football. See, Williams is from Georgia. He was a Fort Valley State graduate. Yeah. They got to. He went and got a staff now. I like that. All them people you called out, I like all them people.
I mean, I think that's a for the defensively, yes. So offensively,
I like all them people.
Maynard's supposed to be the offensive mind for his team, right? I feel like
Dwayne Taylor. Isn't Dwayne Taylor on that staff?
Yes, but I feel like he's the kind of coach that he's not going to allow the offensive coordinator to call the plays, right? I feel like
No. His offensive coordinator calls the plays.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think his offensive coordinator called the play. Dwayne calls the plays.
Is this the one that told everybody that come to Alabama A&M so that you can
go to a Power 5?
Power 5.
Yeah, that's him. Dwayne was his quarterback at Winston-Salem, I think. Yeah. There's another guy that's might be the co-offensive coordinator. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think Dwayne calls the play.
Okay. This is supposed to be the all-world offense that went against Jackson State and lost 61-15 with Akil Glass.
Yeah, Dwayne's been there. He brought Dwayne there, I think. Yeah, they're gonna play some defense up at
They say
A&M.
he calls the plays. All right, you gonna have to show me something. I'm from the show me state. I'm from Missouri.
Hey,
So right
listen.
now, if I had to rank the SWAC men's for like the SWAC East and the SWAC West, I mean, it's kind of like the East is I feel like the East is
It's no comparison. That's why I keep saying they got to get rid of them divisions. And what you do at the end of the season, you take the 2 top ranked teams in the conference and play the championship. Let me tell you something. For about 2 years, the SWAC championship should have been FAMU and Jackson State. They got to get rid of them divisions. They got to get rid of them divisions. At the end of the season, you pick the top 2 teams and they play for the SWAC championship. They got to do it. Because the SWAC West ain't ready. They not ready.
I mean, on here, it had us in second place in the East.
I'm just telling you, they are not ready. Listen.
We wouldn't have been second. We was 5-3.
I done said this to you. I really do believe Grambling is getting ready to come back. I think Grambling's going to be Grambling.
Why you keep?
I do.
All the freshmen.
No. It's because of the people they got at the top. Now, the guy that's going to be really good is going to be that Jason Rollins. As defense coordinator, that guy's going to be really good. But I'm going to tell you something. Anytime you put Dooley as offense coordinator, he does very well.
Mr. Ford, as much stuff as you talked about Dooley, now all of a sudden he's an offensive mastermind.
Yeah, I didn't like Dooley as a head coach. I don't like Dooley as a head coach. I like him as offense coordinator.
What is the difference? He was calling the plays for Sutton.
No, there's a big difference in being a head coach and offense coordinator. See, Dooley needs to have somebody over him. He has to have somebody over him.
He got to have somebody over him?
Yeah. He does well as an offense coordinator. Let me tell you something. I really believe Grambling getting ready to be Grambling again. And I think Southern can be Southern again, but I like I told you, I'm crazy about Terrence. But some of the moves, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish Terrence had hired Fred McNair. That would help him out tremendously. I wish he had hired Fred McNair.
I know that Carlos Taylor said that it didn't happen.
Yeah, they said it didn't happen.
I mean,
but I think he would be a big help for.
I think that's the same one that Cristobal Ashley Robinson and said he already had a ranch in Texas. So some of these folks, when they be talking, they just be talking.
Yeah, they do.
You're gonna have
That's
to wait.
The thing about this social media, you can almost say anything.
And I always get backlash when I say breaking news allegedly, and then I go to HBCU Sports and I read the article, and then a couple of days later, see when you do the blogs or you do like a blogging or you can basically change whatever you first said. So if they say first, Fred McNair expected to be hired as offensive coordinator, they can go back a day or two later and change Fred McNair is in talks with Southern or Fred.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Bonner. Let me ask you this question: do you believe that Alcorn's program is going to go down? Because I do.
Mr. Campbell in here talking mess in the chat.
What's he saying? What
he said? Mr. Ford does not believe that Grambling is going to come back. Devontae Kincaid is not walking through that door. Grambling is going 4-7. How you gonna let Mr. Campbell talk mess like that? Saying that Grambling's going 4-7.
And Mr. Campbell likes to hear himself talk. He loves to hear himself talk. Okay.
Oh wow.
I do believe we will contend in the West. I think we can contend. Now, right now, the best team in the West is probably Prairie View, but we right there behind them. I got to see, what we do. Let me see. I know Jason's gonna get that defense together. I'm not even worried about the defense. The main thing is that kid, that quarterback. How does he and Dooley work out? If he and Dooley works out pretty good, I'm telling you, Grambling's going to be Grambling again. That Miles Crawley, isn't that his name?
Yeah, he still got Miles Crawley.
Yeah, if Miles Crawley can, if he adjusts and accepts that program that Dooley gives, that offense that Dooley gives him, the question mark for Grambling is going to be the offense. I'm not even worried about defense. I'm not even worried about the defense.
Oh, you're not even the least bit concerned.
Not with that. That guy's good. They put that guy in an impossible position down there. When Dawson Odom left, they put that guy in as head coach. That never did work out. And I think he'll do a good job as defense coordinator at Grambling. The main thing is this whole situation between Miles Crawley and Dooley. If that works out, Grambling's back.
So basically, they're not going to lose their G's this year.
No. They don't lose. Yeah, man. I think, you know what? I know a lot of y'all was hurt by Hugh Jackson. But the two Bayou Classics that he was in, after them two Bayou Classics, I knew he was out the door. I knew he was out.
So does that mean that you guys are expecting for Coach Mickey Joseph versus Coach Terrence Graves, who Mr. Graves coached on both Grambling and Southern Side, right?
Yeah, right.
So you're expecting Coach Mickey Joseph to win the Bayou Classic in his first year?
Listen, they expect Grambling to win the Bayou Classic every year. That's non-negotiable. They expect, those people in Louisiana expect Grambling to win that thing every year. Now, really, when that thing started, Eddie Robinson dominated. There was a guy came in named Cass Jackson. Cass won 2 or 3 of them things. Then in the 90s, that Pete Richardson was a juggernaut. You remember Pete Richardson, right?
No.
You remember? He was head coach down at Southern. And
was that when Southern was good?
Oh, they were really good. He came in about 93, 94. This guy was
about 8 years old.
Oh, okay. Now listen, this guy Pete Richardson, man, he really came in and took over black college football for about the first 7, 8 years. And he had a stranglehold on black college football until a guy named Billy Joe at FAMU broke that stranglehold. Because I mean, this guy Pete Richardson, when he first hit the SWAC, nobody knew him. He brought all these outsiders in as his staff, and they just dominated the SWAC. They just dominated.
So, Mr. Ford, Mr. Campbell's still in the chat talking.
What is he saying now? What did Mr. Campbell say now? What did he say?
He said, please clip this Mr. Ford clip about Dooley, like the same prediction that Sherrard was the 13th best receiver in the SWAC. So what is your prediction for FAMU, Mr. Ford? Because Mr. Campbell missed when we went over the FAMU schedule.
Well, I'm going to say it like this, and I'm going to continue to say this. If that kid comes in from FAU and does what he's supposed to do at FAMU, FAMU's going to win the SWAC again.
Ain't no way they winning the SWAC again.
Yeah, if that kid, that Richardson kid, if that kid comes in as quarterback, because see, FAMU ain't got but one question mark, and it's the quarterback position. That's the only question mark they got.
That's a big question mark.
But I'm saying the people in Tallahassee are saying this Richardson kid is better than Musa.
Yeah, but they don't have the same play calling, and they don't have the same coach at the helm.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. That guy that's the offense coordinator, he runs that offensive line, Joseph Henry. He knows what he's doing. He knows what he's doing now. You'll see. He knows what he's doing.
What about the defense?
Everybody's back.
The dark side defense.
Everybody's back. The only thing they got to replace, okay, now they got that kid that's in the transfer portal. His name is Cheney. Okay. But they got some other kids.
Allegedly, Cheney was supposed to be back last week.
Well, I haven't heard anything. I know he was in the transfer portal, but he's still on the campus at Florida A&M. I know that. But let me tell you something. That whole defensive defense, is back. Now, I heard, you don't know Bobby Swoops. Bobby is saying that.
Oh no, I definitely know who Mr. Swoops is.
You know Bobby? Yeah, Bobby's here in Atlanta. Listen.
He is a trip.
Yes, he is. Yes, that's Mr. FAMU. Listen, now Bobby says that this team will be better than last year's team.
Who is he? Did you say he's Mr. FAMU?
We call him Mr. FAMU up here in Atlanta.
Oh, you know him?
Yes, I know him very well.
Mr. Swoops is off the chain on Twitter.
Yes, he is.
Maybe he's not like that in person, but yes.
No, yeah, he's like that in person.
Oh, he is. Mr. Swoops off the chain.
Yeah, you know, Bobby works for the city or the county or somebody. I think
really?
Yeah, he works for this county, I think, or works for the city or something. He's the one that gets all the FAMU people together up here in Atlanta.
Oh, you be up with the messy folks, Mr.
Yes,
Ford.
listen, like when FAMU, a few years ago, FAMU played Georgia Tech in baseball. It was so many FAMU people at the game, the white people couldn't believe it. That FAMU had that kind of following for baseball. I mean, them Rattlers they was over there. It was FAMU, Auburn, Georgia Tech, and another school. And what tripped them people out was the following, that all of the fans that was behind FAMU's baseball team. And Swoops was a major part of that. He rallied, the FAMU people to come to that game because they played 2 times that weekend. I think that's been a few years back. He had no Swoops real well.
Tell him to tone it down on Twitter.
No, he can't help it. That's his thing.
Against original big girl. Tone it down a little bit on that OBG, okay?
Yeah, I think. And Swoops is from Fort Myers, isn't he? Isn't he from Fort Myers, Florida?
I don't know where that man from. I just know he's
I think Swoops is from Fort Myers. I think he's from where's Khalil Mack from?
Oh, they said in the chat, nobody's worried about a 6-year quarterback who had 13 touchdowns and 10 interceptions last year. The FAU quarterback.
Yeah, but he could throw that ball, Mr. Mona. He could throw that ball. I haven't seen him in person.
An interception. And we getting BJ Washington back. We got K5.
Yeah, y'all gonna be all right. That's why I told you now. It's gonna be a dog fight out there. It's October the 19th, right? Isn't that October the 19th?
Yes, the number 1 in interceptions last year in regular season. Season.
Y'all know what? Y'all, both of y'all could meet up out there undefeated in the SWAC.
Mr. Campbell said he wants to have a word with you when you said Mr. FAMU. Says who? Who says he's Mr. FAMU?
Oh, man, that's
Mr. Campbell's in Atlanta too now. Mr. Campbell like to have a word for you, calling Mr. FAMU.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is because we got Jacoby and Morgan.
Yeah.
Ethan Terrell.
Listen, and I don't agree with you about coach gonna call plays. I don't see him doing that.
Ooh, what coach?
TC. I don't think TC.
Absolutely, Coach TC is going to be doing some play calling.
No, I disagree with you, Mr. Mona. I disagree with you on that. I think he'll have his input, but he's not going to do the play calling. I don't believe that.
I got some inside track.
You got some inside?
Unless somebody's staring me left instead of right.
Well,
Coach TC might be playing a little bit.
I just didn't see him doing that. I just felt like he would delegate that. Because I really do believe they're going to bring somebody in to run that offense. Because I'm going to be honest with you, the kid you say left and went to Austin Peay, I thought he would be the one that would take that position.
The offensive coordinator position didn't open up. He probably would have stayed at Jackson State had it opened up, but Coach Maurice Harris didn't move fast enough.
Well, he could come back.
Mr. Campbell with the kid from FAU played better competition than any returning quarterback in the SWAC.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That kid
and you still only got 13 touchdowns and 10 interceptions last year.
Well, that was. I mean, what's their conference? What's FAU's conference? I know it's a division. I know it's a FBS conference. Huh?
Ain't they? He from the AAC.
Yeah, he's from the AAC. Okay, from the AAC. Listen, that's the biggest question mark for FAMU. That's the biggest question mark. Because, baby, they done reloaded all over the field. Because now they brought a big-time wide receiver from FAU, a big-time wide receiver from UCF.
Oh, no, they said they're in the CUSA.
Or they're in Conference USA.
I don't know. On here it says that the Owls compete in the FBS.
FBS.
The AAC. No, it said that they moved to the It says that they moved to the AAC in 2024, the American Athletic Conference.
Yeah, so that means they with Memphis and with is UAB in that? UAB.
Yeah, because six new members joined the conference.
Yeah.
So
listen, I'm gonna tell you something now. If that question mark is answered at that quarterback position,
it's too big of a question mark for me.
Listen, them Rattlers I'm telling you what they're saying. The Rattlers saying they're gonna run it back. And when they say run it back, they're saying in December they will be in Atlanta.
Next.
That's them Rattlers, baby.
Next.
Like I told you, October 19th, that's gonna be Judgment Day. In the vet in Jackson, Mississippi.
Judgment Day. That's
gonna be Judgment Day, baby. You ask Mr. Cameron, he gonna be there.
It's gonna be some soul singing, some flower bringing soul singing.
I just told you, it's gonna be Judgment Day.
It's gonna be
October 19th.
Flower bringing soul singing for FAMU.
Listen, whoever wins that October 19th game at Veterans Memorial in Jackson, Mississippi, will be in the Celebration Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Because whoever wins between Jackson State and for the last 3 or 4 years,
losing at home again.
Listen, whoever wins between Jackson State and FAMU usually plays in the Celebration Bowl.
We are not losing at home this year, okay? We're not losing at home. We will be undefeated at home this year, okay?
Hey, that's gonna be awesome.
It's not even up for discussion. Like we don't even have nothing to talk about right now. We are not losing at home. Now, what we should have done is we should have scheduled one more high school team like FAMU. Right?
Listen, who are the teams you got at home? Give me your home schedule. I know you got Southern, FAM. Who else?
We got Lane College.
Okay, Lane College. Who else?
Sudden.
We say Southern and FAM. Lane. That's 3. Who else you got?
Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Valley. We're not losing at home.
Yeah, you might have a point.
We're not losing at home.
Well, you know them Rattlers coming now. Them Rattlers coming.
And I'm talking a lot of mess, and I'm loud and boisterous. So we not losing at home.
Well, let me ask you something. Now, if Southern beat y'all, you ain't gonna commit suicide, are you?
What?
if Southern beat y'all, you ain't gonna commit suicide, are you?
I feel like, okay, so for me, first of all, that's not happening. Let's just clear that in the air. But no, I would not commit suicide. If No. I have to hear Perry talking mess and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It can't be no worse than G. G is probably the worst because even when he lose, he still be talking mess.
Well, let me say, next time you ask G, is Alcorn's football program going to be irrelevant for the next 10 years?
He's going to take offense to that. He's going to take offense to that, right? Because he's been bragging about how much he has. He's had something to say about the recruits and the coaching staff since Fred McNair left. He's had something to say every week.
Oh, did he say it was better or was it worse or what?
He just said that he got what he wanted and he's excited and ecstatic about the coaching staff.
Okay.
First of all, Southern's not going to beat Jackson State in the vet.
In the vet, baby, in front of 50,000.
And secondly, we're gonna clear. It probably takes folks 3 and 4 games to get their whole home season. We're gonna make the amount of revenue that they make in 3 or 4 games. We're gonna make it in 1 game.
Hey, Mr. Mona, did Southern get a new president?
A money game.
Mr. Mona, did Southern get a new president?
What? I haven't heard that.
I was just wondering. Did somebody in the chat, did Southern University get a new president? I know Grambling has a new president. I was just wondering if Southern got a new president.
What about Alcorn? That's who they need a new
Alcorn got a new president, right?
I don't know. I think so.
They didn't?
I don't think so. If SU is beating JSU in the vet, they will unplug YouTube. I don't duck smoke, but if I am at a game, I can't go live. I be trying to find I can't go live at the game. If you in the press box, you're not allowed to go live. That's my excuse.
Have you interviewed Terrence yet? Terrence Graves?
No, I have not, because this will be his first time. So at SWAC Media Day,
you interview. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you this. The number one thing I want you to tell the commissioner, because I know you'll get his audience. I want you to please tell him it is imperative that these SWAC schools up these coaching salaries in all sports. We can't do the starvation wages now. We got to up them salaries. Okay? Make sure you tell him that.
Who am I telling that to?
The commissioner. Because you know he always gets with
control.
Yes, he does. No, if he needs to make that known, because he listens to you. You have his ear.
Okay, listen to me.
Yeah, he listens to you.
FAMU went from paying somebody $400,000 to paying them $200,000. And mind you, FAMU,
who was that?
Their coach. He make like $200,000 a year.
But did you see all them bonuses he get if he win the Celebration Bowl? And
if we're fifth, what we all doing? If we're fifth, what we all doing? Taking a drink. Well,
listen, he can still make up the $350,000 or $400,000, right?
He needed to start out at $300,000. Like, what are we saying here? You talking about starvation wages, and now you over here talking about incentives, Mr. Ford.
Yeah. Listen, if he wins that, Celebration Bowl, that's $50,000, right? Isn't that right?
Do you know how hard it is to get all the way to the Celebration Bowl?
They said they're gonna run it back. I remember I told you that. That's what that crew up there saying.
Now that I know that you be listening to Bobby Swoops, and
I talked to Swoop. Yeah, I've been talking to Swoop.
That's the problem right there, Mr. Ford. So now every other time you used to be like, I talked to those FAMU folks, and they
I talked to
now
that I know
that that's who you was talking to. I
talked to Swoop. Listen.
That's who you've been talking to.
But let me tell you, Miss Tiana, Atlanta is a black college smorgasbord. Every black college in America has graduates here, and I can talk to all of them. I can talk to folks in the CIAA, MEAC, SIAC, and SWAC. All I have to do is wear one of my shirts. If I wear my shirt that says North Carolina Central, all the MEAC people gonna stop me. If I wear my Grambling shirt, all the SWAC people gonna stop me. If I wear my Johnson C. Smith shirt, the people from Johnson Smith, they always come up and ask me history questions about Johnson C. Smith.
Oh, Lord.
That's what they always come up and ask me.
Jackson State shirt?
I think I got a Jackson State hat.
A hat?
Yeah.
Oh no, we need to get you a Jackson State shirt.
I got a Jackson State hat. I got I got my I got my Wilberforce stuff too. You know about Wilberforce, right?
Do I know about the HBCU Wilberforce?
Yeah, I got my Wilberforce stuff.
So you got the basically, are they named after British politician William Wilberforce?
Yeah, it was like one of the early black colleges, and it was started by the AME Church. You know, I grew up AME.
Is that the same? Oh, it's a private nonprofit.
Yeah, it's right there near Central State. You know, Central State's what? Xenia, Ohio. Hey, somebody in here from, isn't that right, y'all? Wilberforce is right there by Central State. Central State is a state school. Wilberforce is a private school. Yeah, it's in Ohio. I think it's Xenia, Ohio.
So that must have been a church. That must have been the church that didn't feel threatened by black colleges. Because I know the churches that started, that was not necessarily starting, but supporting Jackson State back in the day, when they saw that we were getting self-sufficient and that we were growing in power, they pulled out the funding.
You talking about the church?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because y'all are 1876. What's your founding year? Is it 1876? Or what's your founding? 1877?
Yeah.
1877. Right.
Yeah. Jackson College.
Yeah, that's right. That's you know, Aretha Franklin's daddy went to Jackson State.
Oh
wow. Yeah, he was from a place called Sunflower County, Mississippi, but he was a Jackson State graduate. I think because I think he left Jackson State and he became a preacher in Memphis. And from Memphis, he made his way to Detroit.
Mr. Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Give me your okay, so we're getting ready to end the live, but I want your predictions on a couple of games, okay?
Okay.
So this is for the Jackson State basketball, the upcoming games for the SWAC, because at this point it's basically over, right? Like we're
I think it's still gonna be a dogfight between between Southern University and Grambling.
You think okay, so the these are the games that are left over. Grambling has to play Florida A&M.
That's a win.
Bethune-Cookman.
That's going to be a dogfight.
Alabama A&M.
Should be a win.
And Alabama State.
I think that should be a win.
So that means they're going to go 3-1 then. Southern got to play Bethune-Cookman.
Dogfight.
Florida A&M.
Win.
And then they got to play Alabama State and Alabama A&M.
They should win both of those.
So that's 3-1. So that means that's basically the top two then, Grambling State and Southern.
Right. It's going to be a Louisiana Classic for that SWAC basketball tournament.
Okay. Texas Southern has to play UAPB.
That's a win for Texas Southern.
Jackson State.
That's going to be a dog fight. That's a dog fight. Yeah. Is that game in Jackson?
No, that's in Houston.
Oh, okay. Now, that's going to be a dog fight with Texas Southern and Alcorn. Is that at the reservation, or that's in?
No, that's going to be in Texas.
That's still going to be a dog fight. That's going to be that's going to be a dog fight too.
So
Prairie View is a good program.
That's a toss up for Texas Southern. All right.
Yeah.
Next, Alcorn State. They have to play Prairie View.
Dog fight.
Texas Southern.
Dog fight.
Valley.
Win.
And UAPB.
Win.
Oh, Lord. So that means Arkansas Pine Bluff is going to play Valley.
Okay, Arkansas Pine Bluff. That's a win for Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Texas Southern.
That's a loss.
Damn. Jackson State
should be a loss.
Yeah, that's in Jackson, and then
that should be a loss. That should be a loss.
Then Alcorn State.
That should be a loss too.
Well, I mean, at that point, the bottom four are Alabama A&M, Prairie View, Florida A&M, and Valley.
Yeah, they not coming to the tournament, are they?
Nope.
Okay, no, they out. And by the way, listen, I want you to call that lady down there.
Mr. Ford, you got me doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah, listen, I want you to call. Listen, This is what I want you to do. Give her the name of, I think his name is Cleo Hill Jr. He's the head basketball coach at Winston-Salem. He's the one that needs to take that FAMU men's basketball program. His daddy was an all-time great at Winston-Salem on the Big House Games. He played for NBA basketball.
What about LeBron James' old high school coach? What about him?
Yeah. What's his name?
Drew Joyce.
Yeah, I'd love to see him at.
Oh no, he wasn't his coach. He's his high school teammate and point guard.
Oh, okay. You know what? Have you been at Florida A&M's that arena they have down there on campus?
No, but it's so beautiful.
And then they got the worst men's basketball program in the SWAC. That don't go together. I need somebody to go down there and build a basketball program at Florida A&M for the men. I thought one time, hopefully they would go and steal Reggie Theus.
Why do you want Reggie Theus to move from Bethune? And
because, like I said, I can see him turning Tallahassee out. I can see him turning Tallahassee out.
Don't do that.
All right, I ain't gonna do it. But listen, I want you to call that woman.
Getting over the hump, right?
Bethune is doing well.
Right. So why you can't take away their AD and he's
I know it. But now here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. Everybody's waiting to see what Bethune football gonna be like, because he went and got all them boys from the Pac-12. What's his name? What's that coach?
Raymond Woody.
Raymond Woody, baby. Listen, everybody's trying to wait on this Raymond Woody. Did you see his recruiting class?
I seen it.
You saw them boys from the Pac-12, from Arizona State and Cal and all them places. Listen, we're trying to see what this boy gonna do.
Woody earned AAC top recruiter recognition by Rivals in 2014, and he was named the Sun Belt's Recruiter of the Year by Scout for FoxSports.com in 2012. So him recruiting, and I'm pretty sure that he was also ranked as the #1 recruiter in the Pac-12 and number 13 nationally by 247 Sports during the 2017 season. Him recruiting was never going to be an issue, right? And now he's recruiting Daytona Beach. I know there was a hurricane there, but recruiting young men to play at a school that's right next to the beach, how hard could it be, right?
There you go, babe. That's the truth. Man, I've been to Daytona Beach. That's a beautiful place.
All right, Mr. Ford.
Well, let me ask this here before I get off here. Mr. Cameron, you ain't gonna commit suicide if Bethune-Cookman beat y'all in the Florida Classic. You ain't gonna have a nervous breakdown, are you?
That's a good question.
If Bethune beat y'all in the Florida Classic, you ain't gonna have no nervous breakdown, are you?
Tag Uncle Bundles in the chat. See if he's still in here.
No, I'm talking about Mr. Campbell.
No, his name is Uncle Bundles.
Yeah, but I'm saying, if Bethune beats them at the Florida Classic next year, he ain't gonna have no nervous breakdown, is he?
That is a good question. That's a question that needs to be answered. Will Mr. Campbell have a nervous breakdown if Bethune?
If Woody and them, what you call them hell Wildcats?
Mr. Campbell said, FAMU's not losing to Bethune-Cookman University. We are not Grambling losing the last game the last 3 years.
Okay. All right.
Whitley said, Reggie Theus ain't going nowhere after he seen how the FAMU faithful was treating original big girl.
Oh, well, listen, she brought that on herself, Miss Whitley. She brought that on herself. And the other thing is, Miss Whitley, she's incompetent. Now, she's good with, compliance, but she don't know what she's doing as AD. She's incompetent. And we're not saying that because she's a female. We're saying it because she don't know what she's doing.
You sound like you got that from Bobby Swoops now that I know.
No, I'm just saying now. We ain't mad with her because she female. We mad because she don't know what she doing. That's what we mad about. Now she can do compliant, but that's it.
Dang. Well, that's half the battle right there, compliance.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what she's doing.
Ms. Campbell is saying that Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University is gonna win the SWAC. Mr. Ford is saying Gramblin's gonna come back. So
yeah, we're gonna be Grambling again, baby. We're gonna be Grambling again. I feel good. We got Mickey Joseph, head coach, Jason Rollins, defense coordinator, Dooley as offense coordinator. That sounds good.
Dooley. I can't believe you keep saying Dooley.
Yeah, like I said, I like Dooley's offense coordinator. I thought that when he went to Southern, initially I was real happy, but after I saw him a couple of games, I realized that job was too big for him. Damn,
you're good as a assistant coach, not as a head coach.
That's offense coordinator. Yeah, he's good as Dooley needs to have somebody over him.
Well, we're gonna leave out this live listening to my favorite song because of that loss that Jackson State took after winning all these games in a row. We took a huge loss to Alcorn for the men's side. So we're just gonna leave out to I Won't Complain.
All right.
God bless.
I've had some weary days and some sleepless nights. But when I look around, and I think things over, all of my good days outweigh my bad days. I don't control. The clouds hang low. I can hardly see the road. I ask the question, Lord. Lord, why should this day? But He knows what's best for me. Although my weary eyes, they can't see. So I'll just say